Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, April 5th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be moving around, and then the candlestick you see right there will also be changing and moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, SECO. Big mover today, big volume, and now we have ourselves a good solid pattern here. So you got to think that a lot of people will be watching this pattern, and when a lot of people are watching the same things and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let's get this pattern here drawn into play. First part of the pattern is going to be this resistance portion of it via the trend line right there, and then the next part of it is going to be down here via this area of support around the $1.25 mark. So let me change this to green to represent more so the support part of the pattern, and then maybe make this all easier to see. Let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosive move right there. Let's put our golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual for you golfers out there, and this will be known as a bull pennant pattern. So like I said, nothing is guaranteed, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and breaks up through the top part of that pattern, that break in and of itself, even if it is just a self-fulfilling prophecy, could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So if you like to play this price range, you like to play bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one, AI, which was absolutely demolished today. But what is interesting about this one now from a technical point of view is that it is just hanging out here right around this pink line, which on my chart denotes the very well known, the very famous 200 period moving average, which brings about, at least in my opinion, the big question: is this going to bounce? What exactly is going to play out here? Because this is a very significant level. The price has now started to go sideways at this level. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has started to go sideways at a significant level does not mean for sure guaranteed that's done going down and it's going to bounce back upwards. Again, would it be shocking? I don't think that would catch anybody off guard, but certainly a dynamic that's worth at least noting. So let's try that again. So as far as areas of resistance are concerned, got to think that probably quite a few people have drawn on that trend line right there. And then from a support standpoint, right around there. So you have a little miniature falling wedge pattern, which is actually a bullish pattern, which, again, doesn't make, ensure that it's going to go back upwards. But falling wedge pattern here at the area of support. If I were forced into a corner, then yeah, I think I'd probably go on the side of thinking this thing's got some sort of bounce in it. But again, that is no guarantees, and that's why risk management and discipline matters, because this thing, who knows, maybe this is just temporary pause before this falling wedge gets crushed to the downside. But right now, an interesting scenario here, falling wedge at a 200 period moving average. Let's see if this is some sort of leading indicator of a bounce to come. Next one here, AMC, absolutely crushed today, so certainly updates need to be done. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines up there. They actually were relevant yesterday when I did the video, but no longer today. The first big update is this green line, which is coming from, I don't know, from way back here in mid-September, or not September, mid-March. So, this is essentially where it was at those lows, but now you can see the price is even further. And this is where the first key update comes into play, which is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see that actually played out here. Price broke below it, came back up here, got rejected, got right there, somewhat within the vicinity, and then rejected again. So a point here being, if there is any sort of attempted bounce back to the upside, $4.10 will be that main area of resistance that needs to be taken care of and cleared to the side. As far as levels of support are concerned, I think this might be not necessarily at all-time lows, but nearing these lows from way back here. And let's see, $3.80. And these lows are coming from back here in early 2023. So, I mean, multiple month lows, the price is approaching, again, down there at the 380 mark. So as I zoom back in, that's where that green line is coming from. But yeah, no doubt about it, brutal day today. So we'll see if 380 is going to come into play, and if so, can the price bounce, or is it going to be even lower lows? Next one, APE. So as AMC shares get destroyed, this one had a relatively solid day and actually now has a good solid breakout point. So you got to think that a lot of people have noticed this $1.70 mark. So let me be very clear. Me drawing that line is not supposed to impress you. It's not a special talent. A lot of people have drawn that line, which goes back to the self-fulfilling prophecies and a lot of people watching the same area. Is it guaranteed? No, but is it plausible to think that if the price curls back up and can get up through that $1.70 mark, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That's certainly a possibility, so keep an eye on $1.70 from a resistance standpoint in terms of support. So if you like to play pullbacks, then the key area to watch is going to be this former breakout point right there at the $1.58 mark. So classic example of this former area of resistance now turning into support. So keep an eye on that if you like to play pullbacks. But all in all, interesting day. Good little pattern here. We'll see if the price can get some more momentum on Wednesday. Next one, NIO, which I've been tracking, and the big significant part today was that the price is now broken down through that area of support. So like on AMC, just based technical analysis, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as support, or excuse me, as resistance now. So if there is any sort of attempted bounce in the upwards direction, $9.50 is going to be that initial level. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. I think it served its purpose for now, because in the near term, again, $9.50, and then even if that level is broken, you would still have that purple line there, the 50-period moving average to focus on. But one hurdle at a time. Let's see if the price can even get up through that level there. In terms of levels of support, we have the price like AI down around this very, very significant level there. That pink line, which you now know is the 200-period moving average. So same general talking points there. Is it going to bounce? Is it going to continue on down? That makes a very interesting scenario from the technical point of view. In the event the price does push down through that line, next key level of support would then be down there at the $9 mark. So overall, another rough day, but we'll see what Wednesday has to offer. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, CDLX. Very nice movement today. And once again, like some of these others, good solid pattern. So the level that you got to think a lot of people are going to be watching headed into Wednesday, right up there at $6.55. And then to go with $6.55, you have this area of support right there with that trend line. So let me change that to green. And then once again, to keep it all the same color, we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big explosive move right here. Have our golf hole down here. So have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like this price range, if you like bull pennant patterns, here you go. Next one here, NFTG. Going to go through it very quickly because I'll tell you right now, it's another bull pennant pattern. So we have our area of resistance right there at 220. We have our area of support via this trend line right here. So change that to green. And then just, because I can't help myself, let's make it one color. Resistance, support, explosive move right there. Golf hole down here. So again, another bull pennant pattern. So a good variety of bull pennants. In fact, if you like bull pennant patterns, then Wednesday is going to offer you all sorts of choices. Next one, BFRG. An interesting situation here because it started off so strong on the day and then pulled back. And at this point, it's always one of those questions where it's, uh-oh, is this the start of something bigger? Is this thing just on its way down to close the gap? And who knows, maybe even go lower than that. But we got our answer. No, it did finally start to go sideways. And as I mentioned earlier, I wish I could say trend was this easy. But just because the price started to go sideways does not mean that for sure guaranteed, okay, this pullback is over and that this thing's getting ready to turn itself around. But does it become a plausible? Does it become a very realistic scenario? Yeah, absolutely. So for that reason is where this is going to be an important area of support because this is essentially at 575 where the price started to go sideways. So if that whole thesis is going to hold up that you think that this is some sort of bottom, well then by definition, it needs to show that the bottom is held by staying above 575. So keep an eye on that. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, key level to watch moving forward, you're going to be right there at $6 and we'll call it 60 cents. So 660, is the top breakout point. So in all actuality, a tight little sideways channel here that's formed within the context of a bigger move and a pullback. So that's where the question comes into play. Who's ultimately going to win out? Are the bulls going to win out with a break to the upside or the bears going to win with a break to the downside? Certainly worth keeping an eye on. Next one here, TSLA. So another common theme here is a lot of these stocks out there, well, not a lot, but at least three of them on the watch list are sitting right down here at, Yeah, you guess it, the 200 period moving average. And as far as I'm concerned right now, Tesla, very, very impressive bounce off it during this last 30 minutes. As you look down here, you can see volume pouring in. Good green candle here during the final 30 minutes, which brings about a very valid question of, okay, is there a bigger bounce to come now on Wednesday? The area of support is well defined. So, I mean, I'll spend a moment here talking about it. Area of support, if you have not guessed it, yes, it is that pink line there, 200 period moving average. Let's just call its value at 190.50. And so far, so good. It's held. Not only has it held, but it's producing this bounce that we're seeing here, which then segues into the next question. Okay, is this bounce the start of something even bigger? If it is, then the next overarching level of resistance that be very, very curious to see is up there at the 196.80 mark, which is that purple line, the 50 period moving average. So overall, though, you got to like the bounce here. You got to like the strength of this last 30 minutes, and not just a question of does this strength carry into Wednesday, and can this gain some momentum up to potentially the 197-ish area? Let's see what happens with it. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise. Difference being it just allows you access at a much lower price point. And overall, though, nothing has really changed. I suppose intraday, sure, it changed. There was a false breakout right there of that area of resistance that I talked about. But then the price dropped below it, tried to get above it right there, failed, and back down it went. But it's not like it was a train wreck, because down here with this green line that I talked about previously, and it got somewhat close, I guess, during the last 30 minutes, but now you can see a nice final 30 minutes here. Good green candle, nice volume bar here, increasing. So maybe this is, going to bounce off the backside or the downside of this pattern here and head back up there to the top of the pattern, which then brings about the valid question of, okay, well, what's going to happen again? So far, the bears seem to be very strong with a rejection there and a rejection there. So then that brings about the question, would there be another rejection? Could there potentially be a triple top reversal in play? You never know, but also one step at a time. First off, the price has to even get back up to that level, but you do have to give credit where credit's due. It's bounced so far very nicely off that area of support. But in all actuality, that's what you're facing right now. It's just a sideways channel pattern. Top of the channel up here around 28.35. Bottom of the channel down there around 27.35. So it's just a question of who's ultimately going to win out. Who knows? Maybe the price just decides to chop back and forth for a couple of days. Only time will tell on that. But at the core, these are going to be the two main technical levels that you got to think a lot of people are watching, and therefore potentially some of those self-fulfilling prophecies. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free live online class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, April 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, say hi, tell me what you're traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. Those two things communicate to me that you are enjoying these videos. And as long as I know that you as viewers are enjoying, I will continue to put in the required time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and definitely get signed up for the free live online class in a couple of days.